Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark on the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 2019 comedy drama Perfumes.
Si je m'ennuie, j'irai au petit bar là-bas, je prendrai un verre.
Hey, well, that's fair. I'm just gonna have to try to make this review as exciting as possible. I thought Perfumes was a spectacular movie. The acting is superb. The writing is spectacular. The characters are characters that you are emotionally invested in. You want them to succeed. You want them to be together at the end of the movie. You want them to form a bond and a relationship that they don't have in the beginning, and it's just an entire movie that you can really invest yourself in and really enjoy. And the ending of the movie also has a spectacular payoff. The entire movie from start to finish I thought was nearly perfect. So there's a main character named, I believe his name is Guillaume. That I don't remember how they pronounced it in the movie, but he is a chauffeur. He is a father of a teenage daughter, and him and his wife are separated. Now his visitation that he has with his daughter is very limited, and he wants to try to be able to see his daughter more often. The only problem is he lives in a very small apartment slash studio, I believe. And they tell him that he needs to get a bigger place if he wants to be able to see his daughter more often. So, when we first kind of take a look at what his job is, he is being reprimanded because he got a ticket and he has too many points on his record, and his boss is ready to fire him. He tells his boss that he absolutely needs this job because he's trying to give better visitation with his child, and he just wants one more chance. He knows he has too many points on his driving record, but he just wants one more chance so he can be able to get that time that he wants with his daughter. So his boss says, okay, we have a job for you. We want you to chauffeur this girl around. So when he goes to meet this girl, her name is Anne. She seems like she is a bit uptight. Maybe she's a bit like into herself. She is a bit snobbish. But that's not what she is at all. She's very misunderstood in this first part of the movie. So she ends up being, she is someone who used to make perfumes. She has this nose that she is very good at pairing what scent should go with what scent. She's very good at knowing what smells people will like, and she just smells stuff all the time, and she tries to tell you like what she thinks you should use in your product. So she used to make perfumes. We learn later in the movie that she no longer does this. Instead, she helps consult people on their products, because at one point she lost her sense of smell, and it really kind of destroyed her confidence, and it really destroyed other people's confidence in her, that she would no longer be able to do this kind of work. So he ends up chauffeuring her around. And at first, it's just kind of a very much of a relationship, of a business relationship. As they get to know each other, though, he kind of pushes back on her a lot when she tries to be a little bit controlling and she tries to have things her way. He pushes back on her and he says, like, there's better ways to do things. Why are you always like uptight? Why are you always standoffish? Why are you always kind of mean all the time? And he's really the only one in her life who gives her any type of pushback. Everyone else in her life are like yes men who tell her that everything's great all the time, and tell her what she wants to hear. So she admires this in him. She admires that he's able to push back on her a little bit. And as they get to know her, we learn that she is not a very good people person. She has a hard time talking to people, and because of her position, because she had a very high position in a company where she made perfumes, she feels like a lot of people are scared to approach her and scared to talk with her. And that, coupled with the fact that she has a hard time talking to people, makes her kind of a very lonely person who doesn't have a lot of friends, doesn't have a lot of people to talk to. So she kind of confides in Guillaume, and they kind of become friendly with each other, and they really both need each other in their lives. They really are kind of filling a hole that each of them have in their lives. Now, she's also kind of giving him advice on how he should like treat his daughter and kind of raise a daughter. He says like, what do you think I should get her for a birthday present? Because he was racking his brain, doesn't know what he should get her, trying to think of all this stuff. And she says you should really like take her to a place that you really love and enjoy, because it's memories that she's going to want. She's not going to want toys. She's not going to remember toys that you bought her later on in life. She's going to remember that you had memories with her and that you took her places that you enjoyed and that she could possibly enjoy too. Now, the second half of the movie I think is much better than the first half. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. I would say like 45 to 50 minutes in, this movie like gets really emotional. It gets really touching. And I would say around 45 to 50 minutes is where that happens. And it kind of happens when he takes his daughter to the beach for her birthday. It's raining, which he didn't expect was going to happen because when he picked her up, it wasn't raining. But they still get out and they still have fun on the beach. And it's like this very slow montage of them like dancing around the beach and having fun. And it's really a touching, heartfelt moment that is a lot different than the rest of the movie was. It's kind of like a turn. The movie takes a bit of a turn for the good. It becomes this like emotional movie now where everything to me just shines. The second half of the movie is absolutely spectacular. So once he spends his time with his daughter, he gets to know her. Him and Anne really start to become really good friends, and she kind of like takes him under her wing where she's teaching him the ins and outs of how to do like perfumes, how to smell different things, how to pair different things together. She's trying to figure out, like, show him how he can find his nose so that he can, do this type of work and help her out more than just being a chauffeur. Now, throughout the movie, he's trying to like kind of not cross that line where he is just a chauffeur to her and he doesn't want to be anything more. Now he's enjoying the other side of her where she's friendly, where she's easygoing, where she's easy to talk to, because she wasn't like that in the beginning of the movie. But he still, throughout the movie, tries to keep this fine line of like the chauffeur type of thing. Now, later in the movie, she loses her nose again. She loses her scent. And at this point, she's thinking about going back into the perfume industry because she thinks she's ready to do it. She wants to take this big step in her life. Her assistant was trying to keep her away from that, telling her that it's too soon, even though it's been 4 years, kind of like trying to build her down instead of building her up and telling her that she can do things and that she should take risks. And she decides through the help of Guillaume, that he helped her with this, that she's going to try to take this risk and she's going to try to do perfumes again. But she ends up losing her sense of smell again. To cope with this, she takes a bunch of pills while she's in a car, and she ends up like passing out and almost dying. Now he calls 911 and they tell him to get her to the hospital as fast as you possibly can. So he drives her to the hospital, she recovers, but then when he gets back to his place of business, when he gets back to his boss says that he got a bunch more points on his driving record because he drove fast to the hospital. And he says, yes, but they told me I needed to get there quickly. And his boss says, yes, you did get there quickly. You saved her life. That's fantastic. But now you have all these extra points on your driving record. And I was kind of bending the rules a bit to keep you before. So now I have to let you go. So he lets him go, and he ends up like driving this lawnmower for this company. Now, when she wakes up, it takes her a couple days to come to, and when she realizes that he was fired because he was saving her life, she goes to him and she says, look, like the doctor helped me get my nose back, my sense of smell back. There's some exercises that I can do. This is something that could happen every now and then, but it will eventually come back. But I want you to come and kind of work for me and do things for me and help me out. And he said, well, I can't drive for you anymore. I don't have a license. And she says, look, like the chauffeur thing, you don't have to do anymore. I want you to have like a bigger role in my company. Kind of, it seems like it's almost like an advisor type thing. And I want you to be able to afford, and basically she doesn't say this, but now since he's being offered this role, he's going to be able to afford a new place. He's going to be able to afford to have his daughter in his life. Very uplifting ending. Now, earlier in the movie, his daughter asked if he could come and do what it's like take your father to work day to like talk about the type of job he does, the type of business he's in. At that point, he had been fired from his job, so he was kind of reluctant to tell her yes. And at the end of the movie, we learn that he's very good at doing his job with the perfume, creating the perfumes and helping with the perfume smells. And he's at the father-daughter the career day thing, and he's kind of telling them how they can use their sense of smell and their sense of smell palette to do this type of work as well. And that's basically how the movie ends. This movie is very touching. It is very emotional. It's a great love story, even though at the end of the movie they're not together romantically, but I feel like it's still a love story. I feel like they fell in love with each other, even though they don't end up in like a relationship. There's still a lot of love there at the end of the movie. They both grow quite a bit by the end of the movie. They both have a really great character arc where she ends up becoming. You really learn that she's not what she is portrayed as in the beginning of the movie. That she's not some like snobbish, stuck-up person. That she's actually a human being behind the mask, and she has feelings, and she's a really good person, and so is he. And it's really just like two really good people by the end of the movie who are successful. They learn to be successful together. They learn to work together, and it's just a really good feel good movie with great acting, great script, great writing. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The first half of the movie, I thought that I wasn't going to really like it. It's kind of slow, and I'm like, okay, this movie is really not going anywhere. It's not doing it for me. But the second half just really caught my attention. It really caught my focus. I thought it was absolutely spectacular. I really, really enjoyed this movie, and I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Thank you. I hope you have a great day.